What's up, everybody? It's gonna be one of these kind of mornings. For some reason, it's not sizing properly. I do not know what's up with that. Stretch to screen? No. What is going on with my... Not wanting to size my window. I may need to shut it all down and turn it back on again. I'm gonna close this really quick. Give me a second. Which is probably gonna mess with my freaking... Ah! Well, it is one of those types of mornings, everybody. Good morning. It's a Sunday. Starting off with technical voice. My alarm did not go off this morning. I apparently turned my alarm off a couple nights ago for Sunday, and I had forgotten that I had turned my alarm off for Sunday. So I woke up, and it was like 4:40. I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be streaming right now. And then that was a mad scramble to wake up, and I'm running behind right now. It's still doing it. That is so weird. Ah, there it went. Yay. Fixed. Alright, now I gotta get a cat in a proper place. What's up, Transcend? Everybody else? Hang on. Running behind on all my things. Okay, we had come here recently, and I had paid my taxes the last time I logged on. Double check.
What now?
Yes, I am paid up. And then we can go. I don't need to check the broker. I've got everything I need. I sold everything last week. The objective today is we're going to do some base maintenance at the main base. And then I'm going to start prepping for the DLC drop, which is the 10th. So about 10 days. I probably won't play again until the DLC and Chapter 2 drops, which is on the 10th. I've been sort of playing like every 2 weeks to do base maintenance, pay my taxes, get batteries and stuff. But I'm going to be building a new base with the DLC for the Dune Man building set. Oops. So I got to get prepped for that. And of course running all the DLC content and everything. We're going to play this for about an hour and a half or so, and then we're going to switch over and do more No Man's Sky. You know what? I ought to swing by. I think Jen's base is over here that has all the spice residue and stuff. For all the guild storage. Don't know. These are all our buggy parts. I haven't been over here in a while. I don't know where we've got the John. Alright, we've got batteries. More batteries. Jesus, Jen, you've got a stockpile of everything up in here. Batteries. Thing on the other side. There's a ladder. I don't know where it goes to. Oh, I think I have to open it, yeah. What are you doing, sweetie? You're being a curious kitten. I don't think you want to go out in the room, honey. Because Lucas is out there, and Lucas will eat you. She's supposed to be going to sleep. And I don't know why she's being a curious little button this morning. Don't bite me, little monster. Alright. I gotta go find where he's got all his storage chests, because we need to get some spice residue and probably some additional plastinium. I think I have enough spice melange at the base to handle the next stage of things. Bike parts. Carrier parts. More parts. Parts. He's probably got a Discord post talking about what everything is and where it's all at. Okay, there's flower sand. Okay. Man, he did stockpile a little bit of everything. I thought I was a pack rat. Oh my goodness. That's a cool mural. Alright, well this is all getting into lower level stuff. This is like the living area. Love that mural, man. It's such a cool mural. Aluminium. Well, I haven't found his T6 stuff yet for the guild hall. That's the landing bay. I think this is the water extraction chamber. No? I know he's got a water extraction room set up somewhere. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Here we are. Spice residue and sundries. Okay. I still have a stockpile of plastidium and spice melange at my guild base. I don't know exactly what we're going to need yet. But I am going to snag a couple stacks of the spice residue so that I can make some batteries. Some lube. There's our carrier thopter. One of two anyway. Looks good, man. God, this is such a good looking base. Make sure that everything got stashed properly. It did. What's up, Blue? No, I've not been doing. I've been too busy with other stuff to do any of the event stuff going on the past few days, Aurora. I'm gonna have to stash this here. Alright, refuel the generators. Back up to 28 days. That's enough for now. Yeah, I still haven't found where Clay is yet, Lou, and Enshrouded. I have no idea. Alright. I need to make a bunch of silicone. What am I running low on? Just silicone blocks? Okay. I could make a whole bunch of aluminum if I need to. Don't know that I need to yet. That's why, because I haven't cleared Rebel Wood yet. That would be exactly why. I'm pretty sure I have enough to make a T6 Thopter if I want to. I don't need rocket launchers. I might end up being short on some diamondine dust would be the only thing. But I bet Jin's got a whole bunch stashed. I should have enough spice melange. I don't need it quite yet. I have a brand new T5, but if I needed to make a T6 Thopter, I could. Okay. Alright, the experiment of the day. We got lube going. I'm going to grab some... What do I need? I need some granite. Subfuse console is 25 pieces of salvage metal. I have that, and then I just need to build a quick structure around it. Yeah, the wings engine and the PSU. So I'll probably end up just making those. That'll be here in a bit, though. Trying to not get too sidetracked. Because I'm never taking this out into the deep desert. So all I need is technically the thruster. I don't need the thruster right now because I'm using engines. What am I missing for the scout wings? Industrial pumps. I'll have to go grab those. See if I'm pretty sure Jen has like 1,000 of those stashed in one of the boxes I was just looking at. We'll deal with that later. Right now, I want to do an experiment. So, we were talking about this on Discord last night. Um, this base, which is an awesome base, requires spice residue to keep going. And at some point, there may come a time, it probably won't be this year. I've got like 8,000 spice residue. I'm not actively farming spice, and most of our guild are playing other games like I am, and we will occasionally dip back in for the DLCs and story updates, which happen every few months. So all of us are starting to think about the long-term hibernation mode for our bases, because something like this took me 60, 75 man hours to build. I would hate to lose this base, right? But at the same time, because Dune requires an active management of bases, um, this becomes problematic in the long term if we ever get to the point where, let's say, the 12 active players who were working together in the deep desert over the past couple months, if only 3 of those people continue to play into 2026. As an example, things happen, life happens, people's interests change. We are all thinking about long-term base management. So there is the reality that this base will need to be switched back over entirely to, which is funny because like 3 weeks ago I switched it all to the directional just for shits and giggles. I may need to switch this base entirely back to um, other battery sources, which would also mean turning off all of these things, because right now I leave everything turned on. I am way obnoxious about I just don't pay attention. So one of the things you can do is you can come through and you can turn everything off. So you can go into these and disable them, and they will no longer pull power off the grid. So it won't be draining the batteries as much. So really you're just powering the shields at that point. However, something else that we have been pondering, and I'm going to experiment with, which is bases theoretically, and I don't know if anyone has done any excessive testing on this, bases theoretically only deteriorate if the shields come down and the sandstorms attack your base. But what if we build a base down in the Haga Rift where there's no storms? If we build a protected structure around our sub-fief, theoretically, if that structure is never getting any damage done to it, if it's constantly protected, it should never deteriorate to the point where another player could break in and take over the sub-fief. So I'm going to be working on like a fallout shelter, essentially, down in the Haga Basin. Not today. I'm going to go do the land claim and build a structure around the sub-fief, and then I'm going to leave it alone for the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to put any shields on it or anything because I want to see if it takes damage while it's down in the Haga Rift. Because if it doesn't take damage while it's down in the Haga Rift, then that means there's theoretically a long-term solution where you could put a simple, non-taxable structure down in the bottom of the Haga Rift, where the storms can't get to it, where it doesn't need shields, and you can just stash like an emergency kit. You put an ornithopter, buggy parts, and a bunch of like T5 or T6 resources in a crate, and you stash that there. And then if you need to just go offline for 6 months and do other things, and you accidentally lose your big base, or you decide that you're not going to play for the next year, you can come back and still have an ornithopter, a buggy, a bike, and all the parts you need to get up and going again. I don't know yet. We're gonna experiment. Somebody just rolled on by. Somebody's here! So I'm gonna go down in here really quick and just for shits and giggles look for a place to drop a land claim. Because I know Gray has his paste base down here. And I don't know if he's tested with like letting the shields go out or not. What I really need is a nice flat... Like, there's somebody's got a base right there. They've definitely got the shields going because it's got a... Oh, that was you? Nice, Tombs. Yeah, the paste base is great. Dude, I might be able to do something right in here. So this is all no build. We would have to go through here and find a no build. Find a place that's not no build. This is gonna hit within this no build. Right over here. This could work. Yes? Ah, perfect. Okay. I like the idea of something right over here in between these two. That would even encapsulate that broken down. No, I think I can make that work. I don't know what I'm going to do long term, but what we want to do for the purpose of the experimentation is we're going to drop this here. Okay. And now, just for the purpose of testing to see what happens to this, I'm going to put... Did I forget to bring the granite with me? Thumb bitch, I did. Or did I put it in my... I could have sworn I grabbed granite, but then I touched the chest and deposited all. I'm gonna have to go grab some granite. I don't think there's any granite down here for me to harvest. Damn it. I shall be right back. Oh, you're gonna bring it down? Alright, hang on. I'll go back down. I'll wait, Tombs. That might be somebody's buggy now that I... Oh, there's a buggy and a... There's a buggy and a bike. I didn't even see that till just now. Somebody may have had a base here that's no longer here. I can't claim it. Because see, if you look where we're at, like we're water sealed down here, so you're protected from the water, you're protected from the storms. I'm genuinely curious to see what'll happen. What I'm gonna do while I wait for Tombs, I'm gonna go grab another cup of coffee. What I'm curious is if I build a structure around this, and I'm not gonna touch it for the next couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna come back on the 10th when we're doing our story updates, and I'm gonna check and see if it's taken any damage. If it's not taking any damage, then I don't need to worry about shields or anything. So I can just build a very simple base with a locked door and forget about it and have it be like the Fallout shelter. I'm very intrigued by the theory as well, JDL. For this is for like long term, because like Lord of the Rings Online does this as well, where it's like after 6 months they'll disband your kinship and get rid of your house, but they'll put things in escrow. They don't have an escrow yet for this game, so if you lose your base, you're kind of screwed. So I'm trying to think long term for, if I get busy for 6 months, I think I'll be fine, but I know there are other players that are worried about the long-term base thing. This might be a solution. There's not a lot of real estate, though, in the Haga Basin. Haga Rift. I meant the Haga Rift, not the Haga Basin. Alright, thanks, Tombs. Thank you very much. Alright. So all I'm going to do is put a tiny little wall around this. That's it. Let's they want me to connect to a structure first, don't they? How did I do this the other day? I didn't have to build a structure to do this. Oh, you know what, though? I bet I have to, How did I do it on the other base? Oh, because it connected to a wall, which was connected to a support. Alright. Well, I can't do it entirely the way I want to. I will have to at least put a base structure. There may be some inherent Sorry, thinking out loud. George Rivera says there's a video from Cuddles R used from a few weeks ago talking about this concept. There's even a follow-up that shows some of the walls take a very small amount of damage. It was unclear why. If I had to guess, there may be a there may be an inherent damage built in. Meaning that the servers are going to have it take damage no matter what long term. Like a default, yeah, that's what I'm saying, what Transcend said, a default decay timer. But I'm curious what that is, because if it's something where a base can stay up for months at a time, I will always make sure that there's shields on. But I'm very curious about what it is if you decided to, if you needed to go offline. Look, you have traumatic surgery and you don't have friends and no one can take after it for you, and you're going to be in the hospital for 60 days, and then you've got recovery for 30 days, you know, and you don't have time to come power your base, like that would suck to lose your stuff to, you know, a medical issue. So is there a solution for that? Alright, no one can access that other than me. Little storage box in the middle of nowhere. Little land claim right here, and then we will see what that looks like in the next 10 days. Because I'm curious what the default decay timer is. So we'll check on that on the 10th. Thank you, Tombs. Appreciate it. Because my plan at the moment is, if it looks like that timer is going to be fairly friendly, I'll probably build my Dune Man base down there. Because I'm definitely going to get that Dune Man building set. And I'm probably going to tear down and abandon my original base, which is costing me like 6,000 or whatever a month in taxes every 2 weeks, because I don't need it anymore. And it's like there's no point in me keeping that going because it's just draining my taxes. So I could tear down all of that stuff. I think I have enough spice residue and everything to keep this base up and going until the end of the year. And then we will just see where we're at by the end of the year. Because we also don't know what Funcom is going to put in place for, you know, as they look at the long-term player base, what are they going to put in place to accommodate players being able to take extended leaves? Because they do have to worry about the server structure and the cost of their servers and everything. I'm not someone who's out there clamoring that they have to, you know, they have to fix this. I'm just working within the boundaries of their system going, okay, how can I make this work so that if I get to January and we haven't had a lot of guild members coming together because of schedules and holidays and people wanting to play other games, if there haven't been a lot of people coming together to go do big spice blows in the deep desert to keep our spice residues stockpiles high, eventually I will run out of spice residue to keep power on at this base. And if that happens, my only long-term solution would be to switch everything over to the omnidirectionals. Now the good thing is that when I tore down the omnidirectionals, I kept all of the building materials right here in this storage chest. So if I need to go back to the omnidirectionals, not only do I have all the supplies, I also have all of the lube that was inside of those. The good thing about the omnidirectionals is that they only require low-grade lubricant. Low-grade lubricant is soloable. You don't have to go anywhere to get it, because low-grade lube is literally just silicone and fuel cells. I can farm fuel cells any day of the week. Flour sand is easy to get. You can find that anywhere in Haga Basin. So if I need to for this space, I can take, it'll probably take me, you know, a good 8-hour session. Maybe less. It'll take me probably 4 or 5 hours to take down all the omnidirectionals. Excuse me, to take down all the directional turbines that I have up, which use the industrial grade lubricant, and switch over to build. I would have to build like 20 or 25 of the omnidirectionals. But this base, long term, I keep it filled. The reason I really like these ones is because these, you can power the base for 31 days. So I can literally go offline for a full month, apart from paying taxes. And bear in mind, I've got everything turned on. So I could probably go through and start turning things off, because no one's using them. So like all of these machines, like I don't need this to be turned on, you know. I'm not using the spice. I'm not using the garment manufacturer. Which one is that one? Yeah, I'm not using the recycler. Where's the repair unit? Right, I've never worried about turning them off, but I totally could turn them off like right now. Like, I'm not using them. Oh, that's right, I put the repair station up top. I was like, where's my repair station? So like all of these are powered down now. Other than that. And like this, which I would use to make some more water. Which I probably will. I will make a... I mean, that's another option too, Aurora, is just go... I can always, depending on the price, you know, buy fuel off the broker. Now I can go up here and I can probably turn off all the T6 machines as well. Because we're not using those. Oops, I needed to go up top for the... Oh, I missed. So that'll fill my cisterns back up. So like all of these, I could definitely turn all of these off because we're not using these at the moment. I do want to use this really quick though. I want to make some wings. I need to go check Jen's base because I need to grab some industrial pumps so I can just get my T6 wings and stuff made. Let's make what I can at the moment. I could make... I need to make a... That's the assault thopter. I need the generator for fuel, right? Yeah. Definitely the engine. Craft. The generator. Craft. And then I need 4 wings. Which I need 12 industrial pumps. Pump it up, we're gonna pump it up. And then my ornithopter will be good to go. My scout thopter anyway. And the nice thing is too is I have a Solido. Yes, guild members can fully operate the T6 ones upstairs. The guild members can turn them on and off, correct? My personal ones they won't be able to, but nobody's going to use those. I have my T6 resource base Solido replicated. So if I want to go out and farm Plastidium and Stravidium, I can do that at will to go make if I decide that I'm going to make a T6 assault thopter, I'll need to go farm resources for that. Okay, so we have a generator and a thopter engine. I can't remember if I can actually disassemble from those from here, or if I have to take other stuff off. One of these has a bunch of ornithopter parts in it. Don't remember which one it is. There it is. All right. I need 12 industrial pumps. Let's go see if he's got some over his base. Yeah, crate labeling is going to be good. Yeah, for sure. Alright, I know I saw some pumps in here somewhere, but I don't remember which chest they were in, so I think it was one of the ones downstairs, because that's all like carrier and buggy parts. Because we do has two guild carrier thopters and a whole bunch of other ones. I have two bases, and then I just put a third one down. But I'll be abandoning the second one when the new expansion hits. My original OG base I will tear down and abandon. I'm pretty sure I saw a whole bunch of them a few minutes ago, Tombs, but I will scream if he does not. It was the one thing. You know what? I probably did have them. You know where they were? I guarantee you they were in the guild chests, because I moved all that shit out to the guild chests out of my personal chests. I didn't think to check the guild chests, because when I craft, it pulls from my personal chests, not the guild chests. Here we go. He does have some. I needed 12? Yes. Where did it put those, though? Probably at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Should be all I need. Lights on the Harkonnen gate eyes. Nice. No, that makes no sense, because if they would have been in the guild chest, this is pulling from the guild chest. So I take back what I said a minute ago. I definitely didn't have industrial
Sector
pumps.
weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Alright, I need 4 wings. Oh, hang on. Did I not grab enough? Oh, I did 12, not 16. I gotta go back and grab 4 more. What a noob. Do I have time to get there before the storm hits? I don't know which direction the storm is coming from. I am not going to have time to go. The storm's right there coming from that direction. I can't do math. I need 4 more pumps. As Arnold would say, just 4 more pumps. 4 more. You can do it. 4 more pumps.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Yeah, Jin and I believe his wife too. I think the two of those play a lot together, and so they have stockpiles. But I know Jin talked about one day he went out and all he did, he found like a spice blow in like IF, and no one was there, and so he went out there and did like a 12-hour session or something, and like solo farmed one of the giant spice rings, and got like 2,000 spice melange in a day. Like, I don't remember, he put it up in Discord. It was some ridiculous amount where it was like, it was more than we had gathered as a guild over like the past 3 weeks. You know, it was ridiculous. And like, when I was just checking his, like, I've got, you know, we have guild stockpiles here, right? But they've been dwindling slowly because we're not actively playing Deep Desert. But like, all of these chests have T6 things in them. But not to the level that, Jin has, for sure. And we've dwindled a lot of the supplies down. Like, there's a little bit of plastinium left in here. Still, I still got 100 and spice melange, you know. But this also, like, we built the guild carrier. Yeah, he's got 50,000 batteries, right? Like, because I built the guild carrier out of this when everyone was still actively doing the Deep Desert. I built the sand buggy here, the spice vacuum cleaner. So, you know, we've had, at one point, those chests were very, very full, but you know, definitely Jin went whole hog on this. Oh, I think that was the last of that battery. I'm gonna hit. Ah. Yes, we do. We have some very creative people on our server and in our guild, because a lot of these, honestly, if you look around on my mini map, you see that? We have so many guild bases on our siege. Like, we have a, it's been a very, like, I think we were, I don't remember where I said this, but like, yeah, like any game, after, people have seen and done, they move on to other things. And that's normal. Attrition is not a thing. I see some people will say things like, oh, the population has plummeted. Ah! Dude, every game dwindles down to about 5 to 10% of its population within the first 6 months. Every single game out there does it. This game is still retaining about 12 to 15% of its population, so it's still above average. However, when you look at, I did not mean to take all of those. Let's split. I only need 4 more. But our guild is no different in that, we have a lot of the, I think most of our guild members right now are playing enshrouded together. It's not like we went anywhere. We're just in a different game right now. And then some of us are playing a little bit of No Man's Sky as well, because there's an update. And that's the thing. There was an Enshrouded update coming in October. There's a No Man's Sky update. A lot of us are going to be coming back on the 10th because of the new story update for Dune Awakening. It's not like anybody goes anywhere, but we have quite a few really cool looking bases on our server, and like Jim was saying, it's been a good journey. Like, I've got over 400 hours, most of which were logged during the first 6 weeks of this game. That is abnormal for me to put 400 hours into a game over 6 weeks. That is not a normal. That's not normal. Not normal. Like, I've had a lot of fun with this game, and will still continue to have fun with this. I have the Ultimate Edition. I'll be dropping in for every single one of the story updates. But I also am a variety streamer, so I play a shitload of other games in between. Oh, that's a good question, Tombs. I don't even know what level I am. Like 170 something? 174. I think cap is 200. So, like, I'll be doing new story content in 10 days along with everybody else. And probably I'll get, 5 levels or so out of that. Scout wings. I need 1 more. Thank you very much. Grab those 4 wings. Dark Matter says, someone Reddit did an actual graph 3 weeks ago, including the last 15 MMOs, and dude by percentage had high retention. Well, so I don't have a graph in front of me, but I can tell you, having founded an MMO studio and launched an MMO and been in that environment as a developer and publisher, the long-term retention for any live service game. We actually had this discussion in the content creator Discord a couple weeks back for Dune Awakening, because we had somebody in there who was trying to claim doom and gloom, and I was like, that's just not true, because like you said, if you compare this game to most other games, most games within the first 3 months are going to drop to about 5% of the total, whatever was the peak concurrent. So if the peak concurrent was 1 million players, aka New World, and then it drops to 50,000 players within the first 3 months, that is a normal retention. That is a normal attrition rate. To shed 95% of the player base. That is a normal, absolutely industry standard for the past 20 years of MMOs. It is normal for a live service game to drop to around 5% of its peak player base after everyone has seen the content. There's about 60% of those players, 60 to 70, it depends on the game, who will always come back when there's a new content drop. They like the game, they play the game, They'll come back and play all the stories, they'll play all the DLCs, but they play other games in between. That 5% number are the people who play all the time. They only play this game. That's the hardcore EverQuest 1, hardcore EverQuest 2, hardcore World of Warcraft, hardcore Lord of the Rings Online, hardcore Star Wars Republic players who only play one MMO. That's it. They maintain a monthly sub, and that's the only game they play. Conan Exiles has its hardcore. That's the 5%. Then there's 60 to 70% who duck in and duck out, duck in and duck out, duck in and duck out. Then there's about 20 to 30%, depends on the game, who are the players who will buy a game, or they will buy a DLC, or they will buy a DLC pack, like 3 years down the road, and they'll play the game until they finish the content, and then they'll be like, you know what, that was fun, but I didn't have enough fun that I want to come back and buy another DLC, right? So they're the one and dones. 20 to 30% is one and done, 60 to 70% dip in and out, and about 5% play all the time. And if you look at the numbers for Dune Awakening, they are still in the 12 to 15% bracket in terms of where they're at 3 months after launch. That is a very, very, very good number to be at. Very high compared to, they're about 10% higher than every other live service game that has ever been out there. And the reason for that, and this is supposition, I don't know this for a fact. The reason for that is because of the base management requirements. If I had to guess, it's the base management requirements. Because you are actively required to log on, farm materials, to fuel your bases, to pay your taxes, and a lot of players are going to want to maintain. I'm one of those people. I'm not playing actively, but if you notice my schedule, I play on Sundays for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every couple of weeks. So I'm maintaining my bases this way. I'm not actively doing any content. I'm not doing deep desert. What did I long on to do today? To make some industrial lube for this base. I paid my taxes a couple of days ago. I didn't stream that because it was just paying taxes. And then I'm very quickly making some replacement wings and things for this Thopter. And then this will be all I need to do, because the base now has power for 30 days. And so all I have to do now is wait for the story drop to happen. And then once the story drop happens, I will be playing for, 10 days, 12 days, however long it takes me to get through all the story content for the Last Harvest? Last Harvest? I forget the name of the DLC. And then the Chapter 2, which is really what I'm waiting for, is Chapter 2. I want to go meet the Fremen, damn it. You name drop Chani and Stilgar like twice. We know we're going to go meet them. What's up, Deeks? But that's interesting that someone did a graph, Dark Matter. I need to go pull that graph. That would be really cool to take a look at. Hang on. Did I not attach a fourth wing? I did not. There we go. Alright, customize. We need to do the Atreides variant to all pieces, please. And then please give me my sunset global die swatch to everything. There we go. All is right in the world once again. Dark Matter says this game has definitely exceeded my expectations of what Funcom was capable of. After 1 month, I will definitely play this for years, not months. I will definitely be in this for years. 100%. Like Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars Republic, I've played those games since launch. I don't play them all the time. What I usually do with those games is I will swing back through about once every 18 months because I've played for so much. And I will then I will subscribe for like 60 days or 90 days, and I will just clear everything I haven't seen over the past few, months. Sometimes it's once a year. What used to happen is my brother and I used to get together every November, December, which is when he has the most amount of free time because he has an active not dairy, but cattle ranch. So he doesn't have any time during the summertime to play. But in winter times, like right now, he and his family, I'm playing with them on Sunday nights because they have free time. So on Sunday nights, we get together and we play Lord of the Rings online. But what he and I used to do is every winter, November, December, we would get together and we would sit down. We would say, which game do we want to play together this year? And it was either Star Wars: The Republic or Lord of the Rings Online. And I've got several years worth of those sessions on my YouTube channel. And he and I would get together, sub up for 60 days, and play that game together, and see all the content we hadn't seen, or sometimes create new characters from scratch and do a new journey. But Star Wars: The Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, many years we've done those games together. We're doing Lotro with his family right now. I've been talking about maybe, depending on how his kids feel and everything, we're talking about maybe we'll try out like Return to Moria might be an option that we try. We've done a lot of Minecraft with his son, with my nephew. Minecraft's another good example of a game that doesn't have a monthly sub. You could duck in and out of. It's been going on for 15 years or whatever, Do I have enough to do a thruster? Is there no Mark 6 inventory for the Scout Thopter? Sure shit don't see it. Chassis, wings, generator, engine, cockpit, hull, rocket launcher, or thruster. There is none. Okay, Aurora says. Alright, alright. Which one do I have installed right now? Mark 4. I guess Mark 4 is the last. Okay. What thruster do I have in storage? I have a Mark 5 thruster. Well, let's make a Mark 6 thruster just so I have it. Alright. Now, if I want to do any of the Mark 6 stuff, like if I want to put together a Mark 6 Assault Thopter, I'll have to, we'll actually have to get some more spice, because I have drained all the spice melange that's in this base. What's up, Gray? So that's officially done. I will probably want to upgrade my Assault Thopter at some point, only because, well, the inventory at least, so I can get the max amount of inventory. I'm going to leave that on there for now because I've been using that to get flower sand. And I can stash this thruster in the box. Alright. So we're good to go on the Thopter, on my Scout Thopter. I've got T6 wings, T6 engine, T6 generator. Oh, that's much faster. Nice. Alright. You got a link to your credentials RAR coded on Twitch? Because I hate to I hate to break it to you, but we get so many people who claim that they're developers. So I'd love to know your credentials and what authority you have on the subject. Because I've actually founded 2 game studios, developed and published an MMORPG. And my credentials are public. So are your credentials public? So we have somebody in Twitch trying to claim that I'm a dev on Star Wars: The Republic, and I don't agree that a game could lose 87% of the players in 2 months. It's not an agree or disagree scenario. These are factual stats that anybody in game development, or at least on the publishing side of things, would have at their fingertips. So I question whether or not you're a legitimate developer, but maybe you are, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We need to see your credentials. So feel free to, you won't be able to drop a link because I don't permit links in my chats, but let us know where we could find out who you are and whether or not you actually have credentials. And then we can have a discussion. But until we verify that you're actually someone who does this for a living, yeah. You have a Twitch account with 2 followers, nothing linked to it. So at the moment, you just appear to be a rando who jumped in my chat to make a hyperbolic claim. So again, any form of credentials would be great. Tomb says, "Are this the Harko?" I don't know that very many people from the Harkonnen Guild have been doing a lot of stuff. I know even on our side, on the Atreides side, most of our players have been busy with like Enshrouded, and we're all just waiting for the content drop on the 10th. Anyway, going back to the I don't agree that a game could lose 87% of its players in 2 months. It's not an agree or disagree. It's literally anybody who works in game development on the publishing side has those statistics at their disposal, and those statistics go back to EverQuest 1 and Ultima Online, and you can track every single MMO that's ever been out. It's not a agree or disagree scenario. The only people I ever see talking about how there's doom and gloom is when it's a person who plays games and they look at Steam charts and they go, "Oh, the game lost 90%. Oh, it's failing. Rah! I come from Reddit." Still waiting on those credentials, by the way, from RAR Coded over on Twitch. Haven't seen any sort of credentials posted yet. All right, folks, we're about 40 minutes out from No Man's Sky time. We've got more drops going on for that game. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do today. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn off the production. Okay. All of these are powered down. The only thing left up is the repair bot, or not the repair bot, but the repair station up top. I'm going to keep powered on. All the water's on, shields are on. We should be good for 30 some days. Well, 28 days. Let's cap those out. There we go. No taxes due. What's laying on the ground here? A fuel cell? I will happily take a fuel cell. Alright, I think we are good to go. Feel free to DM me in my Discord, Rar. Alright, we're full up on water production. And while you're sending me your credentials, make sure you provide me with any data you have to support your claim of how a game. We need to see your stats. We need to see where you're getting your stats from. Oh, it's not about follower count, mate. It's about public credentials. I currently work for Microsoft at the VS Code team. Sure you do. Sure you do, buddy. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And I'm sure your follower count, however big it might be on Twitter X, if that makes you get hard in the morning when you wake up, good for you. I'm happy that your follower account makes you feel good about yourself. That has no relevance whatsoever as to whether or not you have any actual credibility for the commentary you're trying to make in my Twitch chat. My credentials are public. 2 game studios founded, multiple games under my belt. All my information is public. Yours, as of yet, is not public. We don't know who you are. You're a first-time chatter on my Twitch. You have 2 followers on your Twitch. There's no links on your Twitch to show us who you might be. So therefore, you are an unverified rando who's trying to make claims about your experience in the industry. I'm a coder. Again, coding doesn't have anything to do with publishing. That's like a graphic artist trying to say, "Oh well, I've done assets for games. I know all about numbers." No, you don't. You're an asset developer. You need to have publishing experience to know about publishing side of things. So again, please provide in a public manner your information. You could hop on over to my Discord. We actually have a gaming channel where you could show us who you are to prove you are who you say you are. We need some sort of an actual, I would say, start with a LinkedIn profile linked to some actual reliable social media channels that have been in existence for the last 8 to 10 years. But you got to do more than just pop in and chat and do, "I'm this person and I've got all this experience." But then when we check out your Twitch account, there's nothing there. Like, sorry, it's not how it works. Juggernaut says, "Feliz aniversario de afiliado. Gracias." Es de mañana, ¿no? Yo no sabía es de hoy. Yo pensé es de 1 de septiembre. Pero sí, estoy cumpliendo en 2 años. Oh, this isn't Thunder Divine. That's not me being triggered. You seem to be mistaken with what triggered is. This is me telling someone, you don't get to make claims about something without providing proof of who you say you are. That's not how this works. Triggered is something, I don't think anybody's ever seen me triggered on any of my streams. I don't get triggered by randos. We will do entertaining segments where we interact with dipshits, but we don't get triggered. Getting triggered is for 5-year-olds who can't control their emotions. That's preschool kindergarten stuff. So, yeah, you'll have to you gotta keep reaching. Well, thank you, Juggernaut. Yeah, I think we are celebrating tomorrow. I think is the 2-year anniversary of affiliate status on the channel. Technically, though, I've only been. We started, I think, October. Shit, I would have to go back. When did we start multi-streaming on YouTube? It was October, was it? I think it was October of 2023. So we're almost 2 years for multi-streaming. We're almost to our annual goal too, which was 5,000 followers on Twitch. We're at 4,653. So we've got a still got a few months left in the year to hit our annual goal of 5,000 followers. But Twitch has been a nice slow burn over the past couple of years since we added it to the rotation along with YouTube. AFK Mar says, then tell, if you work for Microsoft, tell them to fix the issue where I can't clear my file list of the Copilot chat in VS Code. Well, thank you, Juggernaut. I appreciate it. Desde Mexico, saludos. Speaking of new shirts, though, today we are launching the Troll Tears Fuel. Well, it's not the same, obviously, Brazil, but there's a crossover between Spanish and I don't speak Portuguese, so there is enough crossover. We do have a new shirt launching today. Or new, not just a new shirt, a new merch line today. That'll be this afternoon. Which is going to be Troll Tears Fuel My Retirement. Most recent one was the I Play Games in Story Mode. I'm going to drop a link to the merch store in chat right now for YouTube and Twitch. You guys can go check that out. We've got the Story Mode merch, Grown Ass Man Playing Video Games merch. We've got the My Wife is a Paid Actress merch. And then we have some just basic logos with different schemes like the dice set and so on and so forth. And then this week is Troll Tales Through My Retirement. And then next week we're going to be launching the T6 Alpha Male shirt to coincide with the launch of the Dune Awakening Chapter 2 story. So we'll have 2 new campaigns launching for more merch. Schedule for the next little bit, everybody. Tomorrow we'll be starting Hell Is Us bright and early. I believe we are allowed to start our streams at 1 a.m. Eastern time, but I'll have to confirm. So tomorrow morning when we start, assuming I'm not mistaken on the time zones, I'll need to confirm with the emails again to make sure that I'm good to go. Because that one I am playing on a key provided by the publisher and developer. So as long as the embargo is good to go, tomorrow morning we'll be starting with Hell Is Us. The plan for tomorrow is Hell Is Us for a few hours, and then we're going to come back and do a little bit more of No Man's Sky because tomorrow is the last day of the No Man's Sky Drops campaign. We're going to do another No Man's Sky session this morning so that we can do day 4 of the drops. Tomorrow is day 5 of the drops, and then the drops are done for No Man's Sky. So tomorrow will be Hell Is Us, then No Man's Sky. And then we'll be going all in on Hell Is Us for a few days in the morning streams, and then the afternoon streams will be a combination of Enshrouded and Path of Exile 2 Early Access, because there's a drops campaign going on for Path of Exile 2 until I think the 16th. Then on the 4th, we're going to be doing the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC. And again, in the background, Path of Exile 2 and Enshrouded. And then on the 10th, we have Dune Awakening doing a story drop with Chapter 2, along with the Lost... What is it called? Lost Harvest? I can't remember the name of the DLC. But it's a DLC drop and a Chapter 2 drop, so there's 2 specific storylines we're going to be able to follow. And there's a new Dune Man building set, which I'm going to buy and build a base around. And then on the 12th, we have Borderlands 4 dropping. So it's going to be a very busy September. And if I get time at some... We also have Chronos the New Dawn and Dying Light the Beast, both happening in September as well. So September is going to be a very, very, very busy month. Make sure to stay tuned for everything. In the meantime, I'm going to go take a quick 15-20 minute break. do some exercises, do some cardio, talk to my wife, say good morning to her, and then we'll be back at 7 o'clock, which is in 30 minutes. I'll be back. We're going to be playing No Man's Sky. Yeah, Chronos looks awesome, Juggernaut. I can't wait. So I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes for some more No Man's Sky adventures. Stay tuned. Stay safe.